I'd like to ask you, first of all, how you feel the season's going, both from the point of view of Nottingham Forest, Brian Clough and football generally.
There's a lot of questions all in one there, John. Sound of your voice, you're just about getting them out as well. The football is going very well for Nottingham Forest. I've had my ups and downs, but generally the club's in good health.
You're in 4 competitions again, defending the European Cup, going for the League Championship and, of course, the FA Cup and the Football League Cup. What are the priorities?
The Football League always has been and always will be. I would gladly go out of the European Cup, the Football League Cup and the FA Cup, which we're not even in yet. I would gladly go out of them tomorrow if you could guarantee me winning the Football League.
Why do you feel so strongly about that?
Because that is the one that you have to have every single aspect of football management about you to win it. You've got to have endurance, you've got to have talent, you've got to be a little bit daft, you've got to have strength, psychology, you name it, and of course you've got to have very good players, but it's a real endurance battle over 9 or 10 months.
Now, you signed Trevor Francis to help that kind of battle and strengthen the squad, obviously. Do you think you've seen the best of him yet, and if not, when do you think you will?
Well, I haven't seen a lot of him. I don't know about the best of him. He came into the side last season. Of course, he couldn't come into the cup competitions. He couldn't come into the League Cup, and he couldn't come into this, and he couldn't come into that, and he came back from Maker injured. So I don't think we've seen the best of him. And as I'll repeat, I haven't seen much of him, whether it's the best or the bad. But I think his best's got to come. He's a remarkably nice young man, as you well know. He gets his priorities wrong occasionally, but they've been put right very, very quickly here. His off-the-field activities, I think he'll have to curtail. His first and foremost job is to become established as an extremely good player. And he's not that yet. He's not at league level, and he's certainly not at it at international level. For a man of 25 with so much talent to only have, I think he's only got 10 caps. He's won a medal by fluke in the European Cup, because if we'd have had a full squad, there's no doubt about it. I told him there's no way he was playing.
Really?
So he'd have had nothing to show for his 25 years of age and 10 years in football, in the shape of medals and in the shape of representative honours. And I think that side comes part and parcel with earning a lot of money.
English football generally now this season, is there anything about it in its widest sense which disturbs or concerns you?
Nothing apart from the gates that tell me are down slightly.
Why do you think the gates are going down then?
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it at the moment. If I could, I would. And I would do something to put it right. I think we played the usual old chestnuts come out of my mouth straight away, and I do believe in them. I think we play far too much football, obviously, and the breaks we have in between one season finishing and another one starting are very small. I think we find football too much on television. You and your colleagues are turning us off from family entertainment on a Saturday night by lecturing us at the moment.
Could you enlarge on that?
I'd love to. We used to sit down or look forward to it in comfort on a Saturday. I think you're becoming too deep. I think you're setting yourselves up as judge and jury. I think you've gone over the dividing line where you have a contribution to make to one of being dogmatic, overbearing, boring, and you can keep going. I know it's difficult to justify a non-non, for example, or to bill it as match of the day, but if that's what you get when you take your cameras to a ground, then show the non-non. Don't try and justify it or pick things out and bore us all to tears with your lectures.
Well, you're talking about analysis of individual incidents, are you, or what?
Yes, and I'm talking about the people who run your show. You, your colleagues, and Jim, and, you know, all that type of thing. If we want a serious discussion on most things, you know, for half an hour, we'll switch Shirley Williams on.
But, Brian, after a match is over, I mean, fans
Yes.
and so on,
Yes.
they go in the pub and they talk about things that have happened, don't they?
Yes,
if
of
it was a
course.
0-0 draw and there was, say, a goal disallowed or a controversial incident, that's obviously a topic of discussion. Now, surely our job is to report that as fairly as we can.
I think there's a difference between talking about it and discussing it with your mates and arguing about it in a pub than being lectured in your own home, in your own armchair, about what you should be seeing and what you should be thinking and da-di-da-di-da. And I think what you do to referees is nothing short of criminal. I do, honestly. And I think the standard you feel that should be coming from referees at the moment is absolutely incredible. Because I've worked in your industry a little bit as a layman, And I've looked at one of your machines 24 times and still couldn't get it right. And that's what you do.
Yes, but I must take you up on one thing there, Brian. It quite frequently proves the referee right. I don't think it's fair to say that every analysis pillar is a referee by any means at all.
I'm not interested whether it proves him right occasionally. The point I'm making is that he makes a decision in 5 seconds, or 2 seconds, or 1 second, or whatever it is. Yeah. In the heat of a moment with 22 players, with 30,000 people shouting and bellowing, all I'm saying is you don't make that point strongly enough. It should be overemphasised how hard it is to referee a match.
I think Jimmy has said that more than once this season, in fairness,
Good.
Brian.
Well, let him get off the backs and let him keep saying it.
But on a point of issue, I mean, an issue in a game, an offside or something like that, you say, well, we're dwelling on it too much. But don't you think people need those kind of things clearing up? Don't you think people wonder, well, why was that goal disallowed? Let's see it again so that we can actually... It's instructional, if you like. Surely it's clarification.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier on. You're treating us, you know, as though we're in a classroom and your school teacher standing up there and Bob is an ex-school teacher, isn't he?
So it's the way it's being handled that you're arguing about, not the fact that it's done.
I don't want to waste another 400 feet of film talking about your programme, but I think I've made enough points for you to find the happy line where it's entertainment, a little bit educational, a little bit instructional, for want of using your words, and get off everybody's back.
But when you used to work for us, Brian, and you were on television, as you say, in a panellist capacity, I mean, you used to talk about games afterwards and voice an opinion and have your say.
As a critic.
Critically sometimes.
Far more qualified than you or any of your colleagues. Where we used to look forward to going home and sitting in an armchair watching a bit of football and being entertained, we're now, talking purely as a layman, a guy who, you know, pays your wages through my television fee, we're now not going home and enjoying it. We're not seeing as much football as we should, and we're getting too much of that, and I suggest you shut up and show more football. Now, if that's not in a nutshell, I don't know what is.
But I think we do show the football, you see, and I think that if the football's a 0-0, well, then we show a 0-0, as we did last Saturday.
Good lad.